people give the argument for teachers that are like, well, you knew what you were getting into when you chose this job. No, user 5487641. I didn't know that I was going to be constantly disrespected and disregarded in my own classroom, in my own space. I didn't know that I would end up working so many hours outside of my contract hours just to still not have enough prepped or graded or ready to go. I didn't know that I was going to be asked to do so many things outside of what I thought scope of being a teacher was, but I simply have to because that's where we're at. I didn't know I would have to cover classes outside of my content area, outside of the grade level that I teach, because we don't have enough subs. So no, I don't think teacher ed programs do nearly enough to really teach you the scope of what it's like to be a teacher. I started my teaching career in 2019, right before the pandemic hit. Nothing could have prepared me for that. I understand that, but I have never felt solidified in my career. The last 4 years of my teaching, of my entire teaching career, I have had to start over every single year. I've had no consistency in my career. I've had nothing where I can say like, oh, I've done this before. Oh, I know how to do this. It's not robotic. It's not like, oh, I get this now, got it, done. Like, you teach the same thing every day, every year. Like, what's so hard about it? It's not so black and white. And the people that think that teaching is just showing up and like throwing a worksheet on a table and calling it a day have no clue what they're talking about. And none of that makes summers worth it. I'm telling you right now, I would rather work a job that's full year, all year round, and have no set breaks like that, because I shouldn't need 3 months to recharge from a school year. I shouldn't need that. And you know what? 3 months is even enough. And long weekends, sure, they're nice here and there, but I spend more time being anxious about going back to work than I'm able to relax and enjoy my time off. So teachers are in quite the conundrum right now. And again, there's people that still love teaching and love their profession. That's great. And I'm so happy for you. And I'm happy that I have days that I do really genuinely love. But at the end of the day, for me, this job is not sustainable. It is not mentally sustainable for me. My mental health cannot do this job for the rest of my life. And I've accepted that and I'm okay with that. I'm still giving 110% with where I am and what I'm doing. I'm showing up and I'm doing everything that I need to do. But this job is taxing in ways that a lot of people, unless you're a teacher, don't understand. Welcome to my TED Talk.
These are 5 things that I find most challenging about being a teacher as a second-year teacher. So the first thing that stands out to me is how exhausting it is every single day that you're at school, just because of how many decisions you have to make when you are with your children. And that's not to say that in other professions you're not also making a lot of decisions, but when you think about it, as a teacher, you're never just making decisions for yourself or like one person at a time. When you're in your classroom with 20 plus kids, you are responsible for making decisions for the whole group and also helping all of those 20 kiddos make decisions as well. And so by the time I get home every day, I'm just so exhausted from people asking me, is this a good snack to have? What were we doing again? Or why do we have to do this? Like, the amount of things that you're responsible to answer for and have an answer for right away is just overwhelming at times and very hard to keep up with. The next thing I find challenging, even though I'm always preaching it, is like having an actual work-life balance. I feel like a lot of people say that it's important and that teachers really need to focus on that, but the amount of things that we're required to do in a day, it's just hard to actually stick to leaving at your contract hours or bringing home minimum work. I'm still trying to figure that out. The next thing is dealing with parents that you can tell that they're not super supportive of their kids' schooling, and parents that don't want to take responsibility for some of their child's behavior that can be problematic. Obviously, it's something that you just deal with in the moment, but I don't appreciate it when I have to contact parents and they're so surprised that their kid is acting a certain way when they have shown multiple times that that is how they have a tendency to act, and then the parents don't really want to help you solve the problem. And thank goodness it's not very many parents that are like that, but it's just frustrating to have to deal with on top of everything else that we have to deal with. The next thing that can be really exhausting about teaching is how much of your day isn't actually focused on teaching. We have this whole curriculum that we're supposed to get through for all of these different subjects, but when the kids are at school, you also have to teach them self-regulation skills, you have to teach them how to interact with peers in a positive way. Like, there's a lot more going on than just teaching kids at any given moment. And definitely one of the hardest parts of being a teacher is dealing with people who think that because they went to school, they automatically know what it's like to be a teacher, and they just have so many opinions about stuff that they really don't know anything about.